back to another episode of Coop's House. It's now week 9, and it's been 2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, we have had some issues. Last you saw us, we got the suspension powder coated.
Yes.
We were waiting for the white parts to get done, which we finally got done, by the way. We were working on the powder coat oven. We have had a fire. We have nearly died. There have been some electrical issues.
Pretty much World War III started.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, we're sorry. We apologize. So this week, we're setting small goals. Small goals. So we've been trying for like the last 3 weeks to get to the point where we could put the suspension back together. There were some delayed parts, some parts that just weren't finished, you know, things like that. So,
and then vacation.
Yeah, I went on vacation. Hunter went on vacation.
Started coding, but he's not here.
Yeah. So anyway, this week we're going to go ahead and we're going to sandblast the front cross member, which the front suspension actually bolts to. Get that done, get it painted, and we're going to start finally putting some suspension together. I'm really hoping that by the end of the week, the bushings for the rear leaf springs are here so we can actually put those in. That's a big if. We'll see. But we're going to get everything put together pretty much to the point of getting it rolling. We're still waiting for front rotors, wheel bearings, so we're not sure if those will be here or not. Parts for this truck actually really aren't that easy to get.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, we're going to get started. Hunter's going to get started sandblasting the cross member. I'm going to get started cleaning up the rear end housing so we can get it painted and hopefully start bolting some of this stuff on. So here we go.
Yay.
All right, so Hunter got the front cross member sandblasted, ready for paint. I was working on the rear end. I've got it cleaned up best I could with the wire wheel. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray it down with a degreaser and hit it with a pressure washer. So the stuff that I'm going to use, this is Spartan SC200. We're not sponsored, unfortunately. This is some good stuff. So it like Purple Power, Pitbull, Mean Green, any of those that you can get at your local parts store or anything like that, they don't hold a candle to this stuff. I actually had to order this through a chemical supply company here, just a couple of towns over. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff in a spray bottle. We're going to spray this rear end with it, let it sit for just a minute, hit it one more time, and I'm going to go ahead and pressure wash it, make sure this thing's good and clean, and then we're going to get ready to shoot some paint on these parts. That way they can sit overnight tonight and be ready to start tomorrow actually putting it back on the frame, putting the front suspension together, and start getting this thing ready to finally be reassembled. So anyway, we're going to get on that, get that done, and we'll see you back in a few. Spray the rear end one time with the degreaser. I did tell you guys that stuff was bad to the bone. So anyway, I don't know if you could tell with the time lapse or not, but the grease and just all the years of just gunk and nastiness just ran off like water. Hit it with a pressure washer. This thing is clean now. So we're going to let it sit for a little while, let it dry off so there's no water in it or whatever before I spray it with paint. But once it dries, we're going to go ahead and hang up the cross member, and then we're going to jack up this rear end off of the dollies, put it on jack stands, and that way I can paint it. And then we'll let it sit overnight, and then tomorrow when we come back, we'll be actually putting some of this stuff under the truck. So anyway, we're going to let it sit for a while, and then we'll be ready to shoot some paint. have gone about as far as I can go with the Squarebody today. Finally got the rear end sprayed. The engine cradle is also sprayed. So we're going to let that sit overnight tonight, and then we're going to come out here tomorrow. We're going to start bolting this stuff back on the frame. Engine cradle will go in, front suspension will start going together, and hopefully everything is here in the next couple of days so we can go ahead and get the rear end under this thing. So just all kind of hinges on that, but we're at least going to get the front suspension together starting tomorrow. So we're going to call it a day, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.
Alright guys, so yesterday we went ahead and we painted the engine cross member and the rear end. I let those set overnight last night, and that way the paint could cure and everything was dry before we actually moved it in here and tried to put it on. So those turned out great. So we've rounded up all of our bolts and everything else. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and bolt this engine cross member in. Our front control arms, coil springs, all that stuff bolts to this, as well as the motor mounts and everything else. So this is the first thing we're going to put in. So we're going to get to work on that, get that put in, and then we're going to start putting control arms and everything else on. So here we go. So we ended up having to call it a day early yesterday. It didn't get as much done as we had hoped to because we were missing these two little pieces right here. So I'll grab this so you can see it. But you can see the backside of these center shafts is moon shaped. So these little things go behind it and sit flat against the frame, and that's how this thing bolts to the frame. So we had two of them, didn't have the other two, so I had to go this morning and pull another truck apart at one of the local junkyards and get these two pieces off. So we have these now, so now we can continue and hopefully get the rest of this front suspension done here in the next few minutes. So let's get back to work on this and get this front end together finally.
we got the front control arms on. You over there playing with your phone. Got the front control arms on, new control arm bushings in, all the way around. We got the upper ball joints in. Those were actually bolted in, so we were able to handle that. The one thing we don't have here, which we will be ordering, is a ball joint press. We don't have one of those, so we have to press in these lower ball joints before we can move any further. So we're going to take advantage of the O'Reilly rental loaner tool program, whatever it is that they call it. We haven't tried that before, so we're going to go out there and see if they've got one. If they do, we're going to rent that, come back and do this, and then take it back to them. So we'll see how good the tool that they have works. So anyway, we're going to run to town and get that done and grab some lunch because we're both starving. So,
And also, a shameless plug, what you just see me there, take some clips. Follow our TikTok for behind the scenes and quick videos.
yeah, TikTok.
That's what that was for.
TikTok.
Yeah, if you're on the TikToks.
TikTok. All right, we're going to get some lunch, guys. We'll see you back here in a few.
The package was secured from O'Reilly's.
Yes.
It was expensive,
Slightly dirty.
slightly dirty, for a pretty cheap kit, actually. So there are much better kits available online for actually less money. So that being said, we are going to press these ball joints in and bring his mug back and get our money back. So anyway, first, lunch. He's focused.
I am focused. I was looking
Anyway.
at my watch before. I apologize.
Yeah. All right, food time. All right, so we went and had us some nice Mexican food, little burritos and quesadillas and cheese dip and salsa and all that good stuff. So we're back at the shop. We went and rented the ball joint press tool from O'Reilly's. Really hoping that we have everything we need to be able to do this now. But we don't really know yet. So that being said, we are going to give this a shot, see what happens, and hopefully get these lower ball joints pressed in. So that being said, we're going to have to go about this from this direction because these aren't very deep and this is a long ball joint. So we're going to have to kind of piece this together and make this work out. So we're going to take these two little guys, and this particular kit takes a little bit of being creative. So we're gonna have to figure out how to make all this fit together. Let's get that there, and we're gonna take this one and put it there. So I think that's gonna be able to. We're gonna be able to make that work. Actually, maybe. Okay. So we'll put that there. This one's gonna go onto the shaft portion. And then we have to find one that fits around the outer edge of the ball joint, which I believe is going to be this one. And it is. So let's just make sure. Yep, that's going to be it. Okay, so go that way with it. Now here, where's this going to fit at? It's going to work better this way. It will work better this way. I'll unscrew this a little more. Okay. Guys, this kit is extremely aggravating to use. Okay. Alright, so that's as far down as we're going to be able to get that to go. Might be able to make it work that way, and if I can, then it'll help me to. All right, guys, so I know it seems like it took us forever to get here, but we finally got to start on the suspension today. And, well, we started yesterday, but we finished it up today. Front suspension is finally together. Everything except for steering components. We haven't gotten those yet. We had planned on trying to do the rear suspension this week, but we haven't gotten all the parts in for that either. We're still waiting for the leaf spring bushings to get here, as well as the correct axle flip kit for this truck. The one that we have won't work, so everything is supposed to be here this weekend, so we'll be able to get on that first thing next week. And then our game plan is to go ahead and start cleaning up the Cummins motor and ready to put on the frame. So anyway, we appreciate you guys bearing with us and hanging out with us to get this far. We know it's taken a while, but now the fun stuff's about to start. So we appreciate your patience and for tuning in with us every week.
Every week, I guess.
Well, when we post.
Yeah, but check out our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Keep up with us. I mean, obviously, if you follow us on Facebook, you know that we've been delayed quite a bit. But
So, all right, guys, make sure you like this video. Tell us in the comments what you think. Subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you know when we post. And fingers crossed, we'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you. So I'm sure you guys noticed that we did not record us putting in the coil springs because it was a little sketchy. You guys didn't need to see that. We would have been absolutely roasted in the comments, and yeah, it was not good. Just use your imagination and know that it was extremely sketchy, and we were afraid the whole time. So yeah, but anyway, coil springs are in. Front suspension is put together. So heck yeah, we got that much done. So anyway, yeah. Sorry, it would have been cool to put in there, but it was terrifying.